The biggest mega disaster in history. Imagine a single moment that changes history forever. A disaster so enormous that its consequences are still felt decades later. Entire cities abandoned, thousands of lives lost, billions of dollars gone, and landscapes changed forever. Throughout history, humanity has built some of the greatest engineering achievements ever created. Gigantic dams, nuclear power plants, massive offshore oil platforms, complex industrial facilities. These projects represent the very best of human innovation. But when something goes wrong, the consequences can be almost unimaginable. Sometimes, one small mistake, one overlooked warning, or one unexpected chain of events is enough to trigger a catastrophe unlike anything the world has ever seen. Today, we're exploring the biggest mega disasters in history and the engineering failures that changed our world forever. When progress turns against us, modern civilization depends on infrastructure. Every single day, we trust bridges to carry millions of vehicles, power plants to provide electricity for entire nations, chemical factories to produce essential materials, oil platforms to extract energy from deep beneath the ocean. Most of the time, these systems operate safely. Millions of engineers, scientists, and technicians work tirelessly to prevent disasters before they happen. But no system is ever completely risk-free. As technology becomes more advanced, our infrastructure also becomes more complex. And with greater complexity comes greater responsibility. History has shown us again and again that when several failures happen, at the same time, the results can be devastating. Some disasters unfold within seconds, others continue for years, or even for decades, and many leave behind lessons written in tragedy. Disaster 1. Chernobyl. It was supposed to be a routine safety test. Instead, it became the worst nuclear disaster in human history. On April 26, 1986, inside reactor number 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant operators began a safety experiment. The goal was to understand how the reactor would behave during a power outage, but a series of human errors, combined with critical design flaws, created a deadly chain reaction. Power levels became unstable. Critical safety systems were disabled. Within seconds, the reactor surged far beyond its safe operating limits. Then, an explosion, followed by another. The massive reactor building was ripped apart. A radioactive fire burned into the night sky. But, unlike a conventional explosion, the greatest danger could not be seen. Invisible radioactive particles spread across large parts of Europe. Thousands of firefighters, engineers, and emergency workers rushed to the scene. Many had no idea how much radiation they were facing. Some paid with their lives. Entire towns were evacuated forever. The nearby city of Pripyat, once home to nearly 50,000 people, became a ghost city. Schools, hospitals, homes, everything was left behind. Even today, the exclusion zone remains one of the most contaminated places on Earth. The total economic damage is estimated to have reached hundreds of billions of dollars. But the true cost cannot be measured in money alone. Chernobyl changed forever how the world viewed nuclear power, and it became one of history's greatest reminders that even our most advanced technology demands absolute respect. Disaster 2. Deepwater Horizon. More than 2 decades later, another disaster would shock the world. This time not on land, but deep beneath the Gulf of Mexico. The Deepwater Horizon was one of the world's most advanced offshore drilling platforms. Its mission was to extract oil from nearly 1,500 meters below the ocean's surface. On April 20th, 2010, everything changed. A massive surge of natural gas shot upward through the drilling system. Within moments, the platform was engulfed in flames. Workers fought desperately to contain the explosion, but the fire could not be stopped. 2 days later, the enormous platform sank into the ocean, but the real disaster was only beginning. For 87 days, oil continued to pour from the damaged well. Millions of barrels escaped into the sea. It became the largest accidental marine oil spill in history. Thousands of kilometers of coastline were contaminated. Marine ecosystems suffered devastating damage. Fishing industries collapsed across entire regions. Tourism was heavily affected. The environmental recovery would take many years. The financial consequences were staggering. Cleanup operations, legal settlements, environmental restoration, and compensation ultimately cost tens of billions of dollars. The disaster revealed how even the world's most sophisticated technology can fail when safety measures are no longer enough. Disaster 3. The Banqiao Dam Collapse. Sometimes the greatest disasters are almost forgotten. Yet one catastrophe may have claimed more lives than any other engineering failure in modern history. In the 1950s, China constructed the Banqiao Dam. It was designed to control flooding, generate electricity, and protect millions of people living downstream. At the time, it was considered a masterpiece of modern engineering. Experts believed the dam could withstand even the most extreme weather. But nature had other plans. In August 1975, Typhoon Nina brought unprecedented rainfall to the region. Within just a few days, more rain fell than engineers had ever anticipated. The reservoir rose rapidly. Emergency spillways could no longer release water fast enough. Then, the unimaginable happened. The Banqiao Dam collapsed. Within moments, an enormous wall of water raced across the landscape. Entire villages vanished. Roads, bridges, railway lines, everything was swept away. Communication systems failed. Rescue operations became almost impossible. Then the disaster grew even larger. Dozens of nearby dams also failed, one after another, creating an unstoppable chain reaction. The human cost was catastrophic. Modern estimates suggest that well over 100,000 people may have lost their lives, directly and indirectly, making it one of the deadliest engineering disasters ever recorded. For many years, the tragedy remained largely unknown outside China, but it forever changed how engineers think about dam safety, extreme weather, and emergency planning. Disaster 4. The Bhopal Gas Tragedy. Not every mega disaster is caused by collapsing structures. Sometimes, the greatest danger is completely invisible. On the night of December 2nd, 1984, inside a pesticide factory in Bhopal, India, a highly toxic gas began leaking into the surrounding city. Within hours, a deadly cloud spread through densely populated neighborhoods. Families were asleep with no warning. People woke up, unable to breathe. Many ran into the streets, desperately searching for clean air. Hospitals were overwhelmed almost immediately. The exact death toll will never be known. Thousands died within the first days. Many thousands more suffered lifelong health problems. Even today, decades later, the disaster continues to affect survivors and future generations. The financial losses were enormous, but the human suffering cannot be measured by numbers alone. Bhopal became one of history's clearest reminders that industrial safety must never be compromised. What these disasters have in common? At first glance, these catastrophes seem completely different. A nuclear reactor, an offshore oil platform, a massive dam, a chemical factory, different countries, different technologies, different decades. But they all share one common pattern. Small warning signs were ignored. Risks were underestimated. Critical decisions were delayed. And once events began unfolding, they escalated far faster than anyone expected. Engineering was never the true enemy. Complacency was. History teaches us that disasters rarely happen because of one single mistake. Instead, they are usually the result of many small failures, each one seemingly insignificant, until together they become unstoppable. The future of disaster prevention. The good news is that technology continues to improve. Today, artificial intelligence helps engineers detect structural weaknesses before they become dangerous. Satellites monitor dams, bridges, pipelines, and other critical infrastructure from space. Digital twins allow engineers to simulate entire disasters long before construction begins. Autonomous drones inspect dangerous environments without risking human lives. Advanced sensors provide real-time warnings when even the smallest abnormalities appear. No system will ever be perfect, but every lesson learned from past disasters helps make future infrastructure safer, stronger, and more resilient. Mega projects represent humanity at its very best. They connect nations, generate energy, protect communities, and shape our future. But history reminds us that every great achievement comes with great responsibility. The biggest disasters didn't happen because humanity stopped innovating. They happened because warning signs were ignored. As we build the next generation of nuclear reactors, smart cities, fusion power plants, and perhaps one day, settlements beyond Earth, one lesson must never be forgotten. Engineering is not only about building bigger, it's about building safer, because the greatest technology is only as strong as the responsibility behind it. If you enjoyed this documentary and want to explore more incredible engineering, future technology, and the world's biggest innovations, be sure to subscribe to Beyond Tomorrow Media, because the future depends on the lessons we learn today.